You got any rocks?
Ice.
Yes, please. I'm gonna go ahead and get sloppy. I ain't driving tonight, right? You know we're planning on leaving early morning, bro.
You ready for the countdown?
Let's get it. But you got to say it in Swahili.
Here
In
we go.
Dili, tattoo, moja,
3,
tattoo,
2,
in Dili.
1. Little introduction to his music. We'll get right back to that. My name is Uncle Leo. Special interview as my man's passing the J. And Nyasa, please introduce yourself to our stereo community.
Moja Zaidi, Aroba Ule, Nani Jua, for those who know. Nutty for by other standards. Other standards is certain situations require another part of me to exist. So Nutty exists for the mainstay of today.
So I had a hard time pronouncing that name in the beginning, Nyasa.
But your tongue rolls over it just right.
It's a wonderful, beautiful name. I'm not a Swahili specialist. All I know is that you told me it was Swahili, and that we have something very much in common. And without having to regurgitate that, you can listen to our last show. Go to my profile, and you can find out that we did an interview yesterday. Dennis and I have been very, very good friends for about a little over a year. We haven't seen each other in about a year, and now we're here to discuss Nyasa. And the reason why I brought that up, Dennis, is because I was thinking about that cat when we were coming back from that trip. And I was saying, there's Dennis in the middle, there's Nutty on the right, and there's a Nyasa on the left. And that's how I'm picturing it in layman's term. It's a very crude, interpretation of what I see, but just to keep that as an example, Nyasa is on this side, and there's a lot of wonderful things about him that you were sharing on our way back from Louisiana. You want to share a little bit about Nyasa, or how you came up with that name, or anything at all?
No, I didn't come up with that name myself. We don't ever come up with your own Swahili name. Your name is given to you. Somebody who's paid attention to you for a minute and sees that there are certain distinct characteristics that you exude. They give you that name. Definitive upon your conduct, your character, your personality. Some people have like Imara, strong. Some people have Mahali, which means bull. My name is Nyasa Mafahali. Nyasa literally means nutty. There's a lake in Africa. It's called the Nyasa Lake. Nyasa Lake, it means the lake of nuts, nutty lake. However, Mafahali has a different distinction of it. And Mafahali means he who greets with fire and seeks knowledge. Now, anybody who breaks... He who greets with fire.
I wanted to make sure the first word I heard correctly was greet.
He who greets with fire.
That to me is interesting, because how do you greet someone with fire? Go to battle with them?
No. Well, put it this way.
How do you greet someone with fire?
Trip this. A lot of people out here today, mostly the male components that I engage, they are so bruised by my firm talk. And that's what it, and that right there in itself, when just my approach of being naturally who I am, and I speak to another man, and that man automatically assumes that just by the strength of my voice that I mean him harm, that's the fire that singes his inadequacies. You know what I'm saying? He feel intimidated by some other reason that is outside my control.
Every time you talk like this, I feel like there's 3 or 4 questions I would like you to answer, but I
just answered that one.
But I know how you are when it comes to following an itinerary. So let me just start out the show with this. What you texted me this morning, and you said you wanted to do a real get-down interview.
Yes.
And that's what I'm about. I'm all about interviews. Doesn't matter what the content or the subject is. Before you head back to Fresno, right? You're here for your birthday weekend. We've had some family time. You and your family came down. We hung out. I've shared with you at some tearful moments.
Oh, you owe me something too, because yesterday we spoke on me in a real true way, and you need to tell me your truth. I've been watching you. I watched you today, and I watched you yesterday, And not only am I watching you, I'm watching your interactions with a particular person. And I was telling somebody just on the sidelines that I really appreciate that is the thank you I get for recreating or repairing a relationship that could have died out and destroyed multiple generations in your lineage.
So this is what I mean. Every time you talk like this, I could ask a bunch of questions, but let me just say this. We have some rich history between us. We met on stereo.
Yeah.
We have seen each other twice in person.
Yes.
We met on stereo. We spoke for about 3 months. We got tight. And then we took this crazy road trip. Then we came back. And a year later, here we are, your birthday weekend. But as far as the show goes, oh, yeah, that's only if there's bubbles or music that you're fine. As far as the show goes, Dennis, what when you sent me that text this morning, what compelled you to get together one more time and share before you take off to Fresno? Is there something specific you want to share off your mind, off your chest, off your heart? Is there something specific you want to follow up on? Because I wasn't expecting this interview or the second part, but I'm glad we're having it because, I love to talk, so go ahead.
I want to know what you've been doing. I want to know what parts of your life has improved. I mean, substantially deliberately as a result of our trip. What qualities of life have you been able to witness greatly enhanced since our encounter last? That the advice that we've exchanged between us, what have you employed? What has been true for you? What do you stand on now?
When I was growing up as a kid, like you, like a bunch of us, right? We take a certain path. And along that path, we look up to certain people. And being a small kid and being a small person in general, right? I've always looked up to the bigger guy because when you see the movies, superheroes are always big guys, right? When you see sports, the guys that are the Hall of Famers, the guys that are the captains, the guys that are decision makers, they're big guys. When you see war, the Navy SEALs, big guys. Like, it's always about the big guy. And I was always a little guy. So I always had to work harder to try to keep up with the big guys. I wanted to be a big guy, right? And then I got older and I realized I accept, Lord, that I'm not going to be a big guy. I'm going to be 5'9.5" with shoes 5'10". That's who I am. Size 8.5 shoes, even though I always say 9 because nobody ever has 8.5. So I hang out with Vietnamese people because they're like half my size, right?
Whoa. Is that ego shit?
No. It was trying to find your place in the world.
Yeah.
So when I went with you on this road trip and saw how you conduct yourself in the world, I got to see a real, legitimate, authenticated, organic big guy find his way in the world that may have changed in 15 or 20 years because you were locked up for so long, right?
Hiroshima,
so I got to see somebody who's super strong, super fearless, not afraid to die, has been in that situation many times, isn't scared to say shit to anyone, like that biker gang that we ran into in Texas, which you didn't have to talk to them, but you did. What I'm saying is I've seen you put yourself in situations where it's your MO to be in highly suspicious situations. That's where I see you thrive. So you're a real big guy, right? And I got to see you live your life. And what affected me the most is I realized when we got to your daughter's cemetery plot and how you wept and how you expressed and shared with me and we cheered and you were open. At that moment, I didn't see you as a big guy. I saw you as the rest of us. Like, when it comes down to it, and we all have to bend the knee. It doesn't matter how big you are. There's certain things that are out of our control. But I also saw some other stuff. I saw that you and I were like very similar. Like, I thought I have to look like you. I have to act like you. I have to talk like you. I have to have that respect like you for me to be a big guy, right? But I realized, no, man.
You're a force, bro. You are a force, dog. So, a motherfucker that run up on you thinking that he's just finna get a quick win, he better realize the dude got footwork that's gonna dazzle you. You know what I'm saying? And then he's gonna beat the dog shit out of your eyeballs because you ain't gonna see it coming.
But what I'm saying is I don't know where I am in the world unless I have to compare myself to someone else, right? And I want to compare myself to someone who's got a degree from a 4-year university to a master's and has done really well at a corporation? I'm like, well, that's not me. Do I want to compare myself to somebody who really excels at sports? I'm like, no, that's not me.
I haven't felt nobody but myself.
I want to compare myself to somebody who's had so much pain that they, for me, are an example of what do I do when I have that kind of pain, because that, to me, that is real.
Right? I don't wish it on you ever, brother.
So success to me isn't based on how high you climb up the ladder, but on the depth of your struggle. So if you're starting 10 feet under and you got to work your way up and you're 2 feet on top, that might be way more than the guy who had a free ride all the way up to, his scholarship or whatever, because he had the right introductions. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If that's a circle, that's a circle, but that's not the world I'm from.
Me neither.
And
far from it.
And I have a bunch of shit that I haven't shared with a lot of people because I think that's my field, to be a funny guy. Always trying, and I said this to you earlier, in service of others, you protect. I like to make people laugh. We forget our trauma. Sometimes, so you were the first man that was a big guy who was really open, because I discovered you on stereo, about some of the real hardcore shit you had to go through.
Yeah.
I drew a cartoon, a sketch, and it was one breath at a time, because you guys were only living for the day. I mean, the stuff that you had to survive and go through. Nothing to do with, are we making judgments, why we got there, what's it all? No, we're talking about, I met you at a point when you were sharing a lot of your private life and getting readjusted, getting reacclimated to society.
You called me at a time in which I wasn't letting the scabs heal up. I was ripping them back off so that other people can see it.
And now we're here. Now I'm seeing
it.
And now I'm seeing them.
Yeah.
And so by seeing how you dealt with all that, I thought we're a lot more in common than I thought. I don't have to be physically a big guy to feel like I'm a big guy.
Oh, you're a giant, dog.
So that's what I learned from you. So there's my 15-minute rant on you, bro.
Hey, you know what you taught me, though? You taught me that I had to go seek out what it meant to be a mental aggressor. I had to revamp my understanding of what real power was. I always knew the mind was a powerful muscle, the best muscle you ever gonna have in any type of competition, life or death, or just for fun. Your mind, whether you have that built up to its ultimate capacity, it's strong enough to endure anything and overcome everything. Being a mental aggressor, you don't need muscles, bro. You taught me that there was another species on the planet that I overlooked. Yeah, real talk. You taught me that to judge you, because I got uncles your size and of your stature that have been kicked out of prisons and out of states based on their murderous tendencies and die free people.
What binds a man to another man, Dennis?
Because
that's the only time where physical prowess has nothing to do with it, because men give the respect to other men. And they somehow feel like there's
whether our spirits
there.
Recognize each other from ages on and we fall side by side, whatever it may have been, whether you ran a country and I ran mine, whatever it could have been, it was, bro. And we recognize each other. And if we recognize each other, we're able to grow and rekindle whatever friendships we had or was incapable of having way back when.
So we've said that to other people, right? And it's not just a line where we're hitting on somebody. Sometimes you meet somebody.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the opposite sex yet, because you're working with them for quite a while and you're like, you know what, let me say something. I feel like I know you for a long time. Or a dude, right? Bro, I don't know what it is, but, I feel like even though we've only been on the job for 6 or 7 weeks, I feel like, we were just real casual with each other.
I don't have that.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm saying about me. And I'm not saying it's a racist thing. I've just found out that people that are closer to my color, right, I automatically felt like it's go time. And people that look so much farther from me, like Asian people, for example, there's some sort of an illusion there of what's really going on. And they look at me the same way. So what I'm saying is,
look a little Asian, bro.
Well, I get that too.
You do.
I get that too. Shout out to all my Filipino brothers.
That's what you look like. I was finna say that next.
And
but Pacquiao, man, I think he can take you.
So, prison talk. Anyway, he can take it.
Yeah, he sure did.
Every time I see you, I always think you're Polynesian from Hawaii, straight. And then you ask for an egg inside your hamburger, then I know you're Hawaiian. So they're notorious for that.
But she's
like South America.
I'm a chameleon. That's what it is.
We're in a room full of comedians. And the
chameleon.
Chameleons.
Yes.
The art of deception. You can get in there.
So you asked me what I learned from you.
No, from not for just from me.
We're learning from each other.
From our occasion in our wonderful encounter, man. This was the most pleasant encounter I didn't have with a person, a human being, since I was a child. You understand what I'm saying?
Now,
Where
let
it
me,
wasn't
let me let me
aggressive.
stop you right there, because if anybody hears this, they're just like, "Oh, these guys are in a bromance. They're just kissing each other's
Fuck
ass."
that. I
No,
love this boy.
it
I
isn't.
love him.
It sounds like that, but let me tell you how powerful and how simple it is. What you said. You said, "I haven't had a discussion like this with another adult man since I was a child." Right? What people don't realize is you have been kept away from society for such a long time. You come back into society.
Yes.
And it's not like you're running around with people that say, "Hey, Dennis, let's hang out." That's not how the world works, especially since COVID.
Oh, fuck no.
How long have you been out? 4 years?
This is going 4.5 years. Almost 4.5.
Because we were able to leave the state after 4 years, right?
Yeah. After 3 years. No,
right.
I got off of parole after 3 years.
Okay, so you got off parole after 3 years. For the 4th year, you could leave the state. We went to Louisiana and came back. We met on stereo.
Yes.
But like the example earlier, when I heard you speak on stereo, and some of the stuff is intimately private, not that any person would want to share that part of their life about. But when I see you, I don't see somebody who lived the life you talked about, a very violent life with the Black Gorilla family. I don't see that.
And I tell people all the time, change your glasses. I'm not what you think you're looking at.
Right. Because what I think I'm looking at is a gentle giant who has got a very sweet heart and wants to protect the weak. That's what I see.
And I have been that.
I have been that. What I don't know, however, is that there is more than one of you.
Oh, man.
I don't know that, right? And thank God I'm on this side, because I remember one of the stories and remember, I'm a comedian, so whenever I hear certain things, it turns into a bit. And I've said this story a couple of times, and maybe I shouldn't have said this story before they met you, because they were all against me leaving with you when we first met, family. But I go, let me tell you what kind of guy this is. This is the kind of guy where he's been beating the hell out of a human being for whatever beef that just occurred. He is just pounding him, and he's having a conversation with him at the same time. And he walks away, and his friend says, "Yo, Nutty, big dog, what's up? Why were you asking that man questions? You were having a conversation with that man as you're knocking him with each punch." And you would say, "I don't even remember." You blacked out. Someone else, Nutty, came over, the crazy man, and he went to work. And he gets understanding. And that word, when you said you blacked out, I'm like, what? He gets understanding, man. Like, what the hell? Look, bro. And this is just recent. Right. This is just recent. I'm going to tell you an honest to God story. I had an 88 dude, skinhead, racist skinhead, mismanaged my time recently because I was trying to buy a car from him. He mismanaged my time. He's talking to his roommate, had me in his backyard for over an hour when he said he was going to be there in 10 minutes. His roommate standing right there talking to him. Babysitting you. Yeah. Till he shows up. Trip. I say, let me talk to cuz. This motherfucker right here hangs up, said he'd be here in 10 minutes. 45 minutes done passed by. I called this little jackass, and I'm not taking it as disrespect. I'm just taking it and looking at it as business. Did you know 88 racist then? I knew about the potential of being racist. But did you know you dealing with him? I didn't know exactly what he represented. But you smelled something. No, as soon as I walked in the house, I knew what the fuck he was. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? But Trev, the next morning, even after I called this dude 3 or 4 times to try to get an understanding about this car, because I come there to purchase an automobile from this guy. You dig? He's sitting right there. I did time with his roommate, so his roommate knows me. You know what I'm saying? Sitting right there. Roommate tells me, man, he just didn't want to talk to you. The next morning, he calls me up in the morning. I don't expect him to call me. Hey, this Nutty? Yes, this Nutty. Hey, man, are you interested in this car or what, man? Yes or no, man? Oh, whoa, hold on, Pop. Pump your brakes. Exactly. Check this out, man. I would like to talk to you about this face-to-face. Exactly. Hey, man, just check this out. I got other people interested. Yes or no? Just tell me yes or no. Okay, now it already clicked. You don't give a fuck about me. You just told me like I was your slave, what you wanted, what you needed. And all my time that I invested in you to purchase something from you, you took for granted. So now I have to diffuse the situation. Hey, man, yes, I'm interested. Man, can I buy you a beer? You remember that thing I told you about being able to get close enough to get my hands around your throat? That's what I was just about to say right now. You hear me? And look, she's nodding her head because I've said this the first time I ever saw Nutty on stereo. The first time I took note of an important bit that I could turn into a story was exactly that. You're having for damn near nothing. For damn near nothing, just for the cost of him mismanaging his time, right, and mismanaging who he was talking to. Right.
I got me a Mercedes collectible in my backyard, signed over, sealed, and delivered. Mine's. And for the compensation, his comrade, another skinhead that knows who the fuck I am, is going to let him know the business when everything is concluded. That's why it's not what you know, it's who you know and who knows you.
So,
but thank you for the donation.
My God. So, besides the blackout part, which was an interesting part of your personality, the whole collective of Dennis, aka Nyasa, aka Dennis, aka Anuddy. That's the other story that you were talking about. What you just shared, and she was nodding up and down, and we agreed that you don't really get violent,
unless
verbal.
For it.
What you do is you wait till they're close enough for your hands to be around their throat.
Because I don't want you running.
Then you're, and I remember you told that story, and I turned that into a bit, and I told my friends and family. So when they actually got to meet you, I was like, oh shit, I should have never told them that bit. To me, it was hilarious.
This dude,
when you first told it to me,
this dude recently just turned over and presented his tail like a brat bone. It's seductive. Yes.
Like you're seducing people. Like I'm not doing anything. You just said shit to me.
I ain't do nothing.
You continue to say shit to me. Wait, you're continuing to say shit to me. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. But when my hands are close enough to get around your throat, then I'm gonna talk to you. It's exactly how you said it, and that was my bit when I told.
That's
people
the important part.
Then people would say like, yo, I don't know if I want to meet this cat.
No, that's the important part. Understanding is important.
Right. So what I'm saying is that is another facet to you compared to the sweet guy that we just painted you. On
Love
the
you
left
to
side.
Death.
Now we got the other end of the book end, right? We have the guy who goes to war no matter what. Who's literally the Hulk, if you think about it. Nutty comes out, right? But we came back from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And he said, no more Nutty.
Man.
Now in Nyasa. That's exactly what you said.
Check this shit out. I've been beat across the head so much, doing the right shit in my life. Doing the right. I did a couple of wrong times. I'm not even going to disguise none of my activities. You know what I'm saying? But doing the right things, I get taken advantage of. I get things stolen from me that I earned, that I worked hard for, that I put in the effort for. I have a feeling
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, somebody stole
like $89K?
Like a whole bunch of money. When you do the calculations of all the monthly
earlier today, we were having lunch.
$89K. Put it
that's
all
a
together.
Hard number to swallow.
No, it's just a hard disrespect to ever look at. And I haven't looked at it. Because if I look at it face on, I'll go so insane. But just
Nettie comes out again.
Nah, fuck that. He'll never go back in for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that I want to avoid it. Man, the dude, you chose the courts. Let the courts choose what happens to you. I never ran to the courts. Never ran to the law. The first time that I asked him for help in this situation, the dude told me it's my fault. I mean, my problem. Handle it the way you see fit. And I'm an activated, validated gang member. And I told him, I don't do this shit, but I need help. He's stealing my shit, giving it to his workers, putting it out in the rain, destroying my shit. What recourse do I have? This is on you. Handle your business, dude, and peel off. What's your badge number? Your problem. Fix it. Don't let me fix it. Don't let me fix it. I'm not going to be as just as you think you are humane with your illegal fucking practices. I'm asking for help in the proper fashions. And if you leave me to my own recourses, the last dude when I was 14 got burnt to fucking death. I asked for help.
Well, this is a bad time to have my cocktail. Say happy birthday, big dog.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you, man. Love you, man. You too, young lady.
I love you, bro.
You too, young lady.
We need to move on to a serious topic now.
Okay, get in it.
Let's pretend this is a live podcast.
Oh,
and then one day I might say come to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Play or Spotify and check out the full Blooded Podcast with Uncle Leo. If
you get rich off of any of my jokes, any of my real life shit, my jokes that you get rich off of, man.
You're the first guy we're going to Vegas. I already told you.
No. You're going to buy a whole village in Africa and donate that money there.
Man, bro, Africa don't give a shit about
I know they don't give a fuck, but I give a fuck about them. Okay, they ain't got to love me. I love them.
Okay, I can take that, but I'm letting you know you got to give a shit about you first, okay?
I love myself. I love myself.
You know that's been the theme this last 48 hours, right?
Well, you know what? I bump one song all the time. Boosie, MO3. You ain't got to love me. I love myself. You ain't got to like me. I like myself. You ain't got to fight for me. I'll fight for myself.
So instead of giving me a song, which has beautiful lyrics, by the way, which I've never heard this song, whoever this boozy guy is, I hope he pays his taxes.
You don't.
I'm talking about
that. I just
when
assume.
you were in the eye of the tiger, the eye of the storm.
Come on, man.
When you were in the eye of the storm and the shit hits the fan, and your friends care about you, reach out to you, I don't want you to ghost them.
Whoa, hold on. You cannot put a specific cap on anything.
It's not a cap.
Yes, you just did. You
okay, fine. Call it a cap. Call it whatever it is if it makes sense to you.
Look. Life is life, bro. Any situation that you find yourself in, every day that you step out your front door is a chance on life. Yeah,
if I woke up right now and say I'll be right back, and then just start walking and never come back, you're like, yo, bro, text me, and I don't respond. Yo, bro, call me, you don't respond. And then a couple of days later, you're like, what happened, Leo? You just left the podcast. I'm like, yo, check this, Pete. Life is life. It's not going to fly, is it?
It's not going to fly at all.
It's not going to fly, is it?
But check this out.
Now check what out now.
Check this out.
Why don't we just leave that alone?
My coping mechanism that night, I drank a whole bunch of alcohol and started walking. And once I started feeling dizzy, I turned my black ass around and started walking back.
So you had a formula that you trusted, obviously. This wasn't happenstance. You've done this before.
A part of the formula wasn't charging up my phone, partner.
Now, how about that? My phone died.
No. I don't like phones.
That's the third comeback. So I'm going to say,
since our lesson,
for the honorable judge submitting this for Exhibit 8, that his third attempt was cell phone
that jackass state that stole my last phone. How many phones have I went through? Several. But I don't give a damn about a phone.
Listen, we're not talking about phones right now because I'm not a tech guy. But let me just say this, because I've been wanting to ask you a serious question.
I apologize, brother.
Bro, I'm good. No, I just know that you're the toughest guy I've ever met in my entire life, and I met some pretty tough dudes when I interviewed
Now you're witnessing the most broken motherfucker.
But I also know that I'm right, and it's my ego who's praising myself right now because I called it. You're the kind of guy you can take care of yourself no matter what. Like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be fine.
9 times out of 10.
Like most people wouldn't do the shit that you do, which is walk into the line and say, you know what? It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm very inebriated. I'm not from around here. I'm probably the only white guy from a 100-mile radius. Everybody here is white with 10% Chinese. And I'm going to decide to walk not into the white neighborhood. I'm going to go to the Mexican and drug and fentanyl and hookers and on Harbor Boulevard.
Where I will feel most comfortable.
And I guarantee you're going to get pulled over. I guarantee you're going to, even if you're walking, dog. And I was like, oh, no. On his birthday weekend, he's going to go to jail.
Check this out.
I thought, wait a minute. We're talking about Dennis.
Listen, last night the dude told me he was going to call the cops on me. He's going to call the cops on me because I'm asking for another mattress. I had to tell him tonight, even though he didn't call the cops on me. I had to tell him tonight, man. Once the cops left.
Even though the other night, by the way, he also called the cops, but he didn't.
But he didn't. Trip. I told him tonight, I said, bro, if the cops would have showed up, man, I would have came back over once they left and beat your ass. Because I want you to understand there's a consequence to your stupidity. You brought some shit from the streets to your job. And I was asking for comfort.
Here's the difference between me and Dennis, okay? A couple of months ago, I had to go to my old place, break in. Cops showed up. They caught me lying that I had to break in. I said, no, I used my key.
You walked on?
I was locked up, whatever. And he goes, oh, and he got mad. Cop got really, you know when you lie to a cop, how they get that angry look, like just fuck them in the ass?
Yeah.
And
like they really got authority.
And, yeah, it did.
Like you.
Yeah, I don't know why they have that look. You're like, oh, you've never heard a lie before? Anyway, so he goes, okay, let's go. He goes, go to my car. And I thought, I've been down this routine before, so I spread my legs up, put my hands behind my back, and he goes, what are you doing? Like, he told me to go to the car. No, just stand over there. But I was so used to it. The difference between me and you, it's like, I'm going to go there, and if the cop says, go to my car, okay, I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to argue, I did it. But you're like, I'm going to go to the house, and if you report me, someone's going to get paid for this.
No, I didn't tell him prior to any of this. I just told him this tonight in front of his manager. In front of his manager.
Right.
And his manager thanked me for coming off there and giving them this sermon. Because the kid did something very unprofessional.
Yeah. You're like a Karen. You let people know that the customer service standard isn't high enough.
I don't give a damn.
You want to tell them,
you damn
maybe
right.
School your kid.
I'm going to school the shit out you, especially when you press that game. When you press that direction of game, when you press intimidation, a threat as a part of your motherfucking game of falsifying your authority, man, try me.
So before we get into the book of Nutty, a.k.a. Nyasa, chapter 5, verse 65.
No, 88.
88. I want to talk about this.
This
is a pretty serious question, right? Because we've been drinking a lot. We've been smoking a lot.
Not yet.
Well,
where's the
dude,
butt at?
I don't go to your face, bro. I don't listen.
Amen.
Listen, I've been wanting to ask you this, and we're in a good mood now. And I'm only asking this because of the serious conversation we had. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, just go to my last show.
This is my medication, brother.
My brother Dennis shared a lot of. I mean, you were pretty open to some really sensitive spot. I mean, we were really getting into it. So I really had a great time. So I'm basing it on that, okay? Because you made me think about something, right?
Yeah.
And that's why today, when we're talking about beating somebody up for $500 or for free, you offered.
Come on, man. I'm
just for the principle.
Hey, he'll make it right.
or
he'll make it right.
You know, choosing to go down that road, and once you're there, or I'm gonna be a dad for a couple more years and just stick to that, right?
Do that.
You know where that was coming from the conversation we were having last night? Because I was thinking to myself, if I can ask Dennis this, I really want to. What do you live for now?
Not much, Doc. Not much. I'm living just to get my balance back up underneath me. I've been toppled. I've been wobbled. You know what? I've been hit hard several times. This motherfucker right here tried to take my block off. You did, and it wobbled me to the core of identity. And I spoke on that earlier. When you start to see yourself in a shimmer in which you cannot identify yourself and the reflection of yourself, what part of that is you? I lost.
So what I like about our conversations is that you've come to a point that I'm understanding you much more efficiently. And if
you smoked enough now,
I can't. I'm fine. Trust me. I don't know why you think I keep up with you. By the way, side note, you keep losing weight.
Yeah.
In the picture when you and
myself.
Sandra were married, you looked like you were, I would say, probably 250, 270.
Brother.
6'2".
Self-hate.
And now you look like, to me, and I'm just guessing. I'm all observation. First time we're having this conversation. And now I think you're like 190, 200.
About 190, 200.
So everything I just said is very, very close to that. I'm calling him out of the wild card this weekend. If you go to the last show we did, I did the same thing.
What the fuck is you? The fucking magical weight?
My reads on poker are just so good right now, bro.
He can guess your weight.
He's the fucking idiot weight gainer.
Remember, I hugged you twice.
Whisperer? I
patted you. You know, I have some experience from meeting you last time. I seen a picture that.
Oh, you've been filling me up and down and taking assessment the whole time.
I'm never that guy.
Don't.
Why is it because I'm dark?
No, don't make me start watching your ass.
You think I'm just running around?
Make me start watching
happy rain dance. So
I'm gonna have to start watching you like I watch Angel. Angel, I watch her like a black bat too, because she watches me with a critical eye as well. You know what I'm saying?
No, I just.
That's my sister.
I just feel like, and memory will tell you this, most of the people I hang out with are just people at work.
Brother. And
they're all over 70 years old. So this is
eating here with you. The meals I've had with you is the meals that I've chosen to eat. I don't choose to eat much. Those things I don't find value in it no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I feel compelled to smoke out before I go eat. Otherwise, I don't really enjoy that.
Otherwise, you don't have the appetite for it.
It's like, just give me another cocktail.
Yeah. You know what? Give me a can of chili beans. Give me a chili dog. That's it.
I like getting my spicy Dorito chips and dipping them into those chili beans when I make them.
You see what the fuck I mean?
Yeah.
Life is becoming basic. It's reverting back to cave days. We're going to be chasing squirrels in a minute.
I don't mind cooking if there's music on and I'm smoking out. And I'm still at home. I have to drive out.
I don't cook anymore. I haven't barbecued in like 3 months. I haven't cooked in almost a year myself. And I like cooking.
Yeah, I like cooking too. Not crazy about the eating part afterwards, but.
But see, all these are aspects of identity being lost. The joy that you find.
So not a whole lot anymore. Identity lost. Do you feel you're 60%, 40%? Where are you at with this identity quest?
I don't know. Once I get
if you had to guess, like right now, if you had to guess, not hold you accountable to it.
You trying to?
Trying isn't doing.
Good effort.
I like what you did.
Good effort. Fuck about that lane real quick.
When you were messing around with my son earlier today at that restaurant, or maybe it was at the bowling alley. You said it in a certain way that I don't know if that was like child, boy, just innocent, Dennis, or if it was you trying to be a character because you're in Costa Mesa. No. But I thought to myself, God, I totally would love to put him in one of my scripts because when they hear his voice, but then actually meet him, like, oh, they'll never put 2 and 2 together.
They have to put 7 and 6 together.
I don't say much, but when I'm close enough to put my hand around your throat,
they learn something
then you hear
different.
me talking to you.
Yeah. We have a better understanding.
That's like a superhero line.
Bro, they have a better understanding.
That's like a line you've seen in some movie somewhere. And
swear to God, it just happened.
Who does lines like that?
It just happened. I swear to God, it just happened. A motherfucker told me, why are you like that? I say, because look, this dude don't know me. He's never seen me. So why would he even aggress upon me like that? I don't know him. And I'm trying to be respectful to him at every turn of this conversation because I really just want to see the Mercedes. You know what I'm saying?
You should pack it loosely, like you said, and experiment to see if your way works with the chunks. You say you don't burn as much. Remember,
we're gonna see. Oh,
I
see what you did too.
So what happens? Let's go get to that, back to that story. So the Aryan racist in you.
Yeah. No, the Aryan racist in himself caused them to donate something to me.
Okay, so you ended up completing the transaction after all. You got
yes, I got the car.
And how much did you pay for it?
Enough.
Okay. I was wondering if I missed anything in that story.
And the prices, those vary. Donations up to a certain amount. I heard
donation. I was wondering.
Donations up to a certain amount is tax deductible.
I see.
Or not tax claimable.
Okay. But so you were compensated for your time lost.
No, I was compensated for my disrespect. Fuck the time.
And your disrespect.
No, just the disrespect.
So you don't mind losing time?
Oh, I didn't mind greatly. That was a part of the disrespect. Let's keep it in line with disrespect.
So you were really upset and you balanced things out.
It did not look. I gave him the benefit of the doubt all the way up until the phone call.
I see.
Up until the phone call, I never witnessed it
as
what it was. No, I just lined him up to what it was, and the way he got at me with the ferocity and the just demanding no consideration of, hey man, I'm sorry about yesterday or none of that shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I put that into perspective of the way he's aggressively talking to me. Bro, you don't know me. Ask your celly or ask your roommate about who this dude is you talking to, because I think you missed a little sermon or two.
Let's talk about the other dude. Let's talk about the other dude who's talking about.
He's a nice fella.
The artist work. You were talking to me. You were talking to some. You were telling me that your drawings and your poetry, you're trying to get that to the next level, and you're talking to someone right now about it. Some publisher or some coordinator.
Well, Page Publishing.
Yeah.
Page Publishing has already agreed to publish one of my books, my poetry books. And it's called A Thug's Verse. Well, excuse me. A State of Mind. It's called, no, not a working title. It's called A State of Mind.
Okay.
A Young Thug's Verse. And all of these poems are really hood prayers. These are young men and women going through every stage of the game that seeks God's help. And we all ask for God's help. So, to give different perspective from different groups of mindsets that understand that the younger generation always will be our hope. And if we don't give them the proper hope in the lanes that they're playing in, then we're failing them over and over.
So this is a contribution,
yes, to them, to the growth,
to that younger generation. You were hoping to give them something.
Yes. And then the next book is for the sisters, the ones we fail as men. These are apologies. All of it is an apology.
Oh, woo! You met them?
Yes,
Reggie
buddies.
and Lamont.
Gaidi.
I once asked them, how do you guys feel about politics? And they looked at me and grinned like, we don't give a fuck, bro. We don't care who's president, Trump or this and that.
I don't give a damn.
We got bigger things to worry about, like how to stay out of jail, how to make money. And I'm like, that's what the working man worries about, right? How do we not get buried with all the crap that's going on around us? Do you ever think about stuff like that?
No, fuck them. They don't feed me. Bruh, excuse me. It does not matter to me, because my father taught me this. When they don't love you, you have no win with them. So you focus on your own survival. They ain't showed me love since I've been born. Why do I don't need them to survive. I'm still here. I'm 50.
I always believe in the concept of clans.
You know what I'm saying?
Tribes.
Well, I'll be 51, damn it. But I'm here, though. I should have been dead when I was 7 months old. You know what I'm saying? If they recognize the potential of the motherfucker sitting in front of them, if they recognize the potential of who I will become, man, you should have took me out a long time ago. But when individuals read what I have to tell them, when they listen to some of the words that I share, some of the feelings, some of the emotions that I sincerely give to y'all, open-heartedly, over my own journeys, over my own personal destruction or whatever, I've been revealing myself to you in ways that you couldn't reveal on your own.
As we start to wind things down, let me ask you this. And I said it a little bit in the beginning. I think we touched on it, but we're going to continue to have conversations in our own time, in our own personal time. And, you know, that's a wonderful thing. But now we're doing a show. What do you want to leave listeners with? There are, shout out to Black Casper, because I know you play back a lot of our shows. What thought do you want to leave us with, Dennis? Because sometimes I don't even know what questions to ask you anymore.
What can I say? Those who know I love you know I love you. So if today is the last, right, whoa, I made it through this one. So tomorrow, that's the new one. Let's get through that one. Each day that I'm alive is more understanding that there's hope, there's possibilities, there's a change, there's a growth, there's a reason, there's a purpose. But in the personal now, in my private time of the me and the now, everybody else is living their life, getting their shit together. I've assisted in a lot of those getting togethers. Ain't nobody assisting in my getting together. You dig what I'm saying? Motherfuckers who claim to be loyal, peel away. Claim to be in it to win it for life, peel away. You dig what I'm saying? I would never forsake a comrade nor a loved one in any form of strife. Give a fuck what it looked like. We either came together and we're gonna leave together. And that's the basis of it. And when you abandon me, you abandon the righteous shit that had the most loyalist love towards you. And it can't be tolerated in many forms. And still, I love with an openness of heart that denies me my truth. That was too philosophical for you?
No, I just wish I had 5 hours to take apart 3 points in that statement, because
I just think differently, bro.
yes, you're a very private person. When it comes to saying things that deliberately point the finger at you, you will state it in a poetic way that is so philosophically abstract of the point that we might lose your train of thought
I doubt
sometimes.
if
And I
you
feel
will.
it's a defensive shield.
No, yes, it is. No, yes, it is. If you don't take the time out to witness what I'm saying and
You
understand what
just
I'm
did
saying,
it again.
yeah.
You just
If
did
you
it
don't take
again.
the time out, you
There's
ain't
always
that.
a condition
I
to the
love it.
statement.
But
If
it's
I
one
don't
to
take the
yours,
time,
brother.
if I don't find out the truth, and I'm thinking, I know what you're doing.
No.
I know what you're doing.
What am I doing?
Because I was about to ask you,
Please.
what does it mean when someone says, I see you? And I'm only saying this, I hear this on the stereo streets. And
I see you.
I really
see
don't.
your truth. I see through that
Because
transparent
when we
bullshit you
use that
painting.
word truth, like, which truth are we talking about?
The truth that you try to hide
universal-
from everybody else.
What, you did it again. What?
Oh, mystical stuff? Look, man,
No, the
those
truth
secrets
that you try to, I
have.
don't know who you is,
Okay.
and why
Well,
that you
PBI,
is trying to hide
if
that
I
from
could
you.
look
I'm
in
talking
your
about
eyes,
your truth, the truth that you've been saying
my
from
truth
yesterday's interview and
is
today's interview.
my truth is this right here. I'm
Yes,
here.
thank you. Let's start with that.
My truth is I would also like to know about your truth, bruh.
Right,
You
but
asked me a
that
lot.
has nothing to do with
Yes, it
your
does.
truth.
Everything to do
Unless
with
you
my
include
truth.
it as a small part. We're talking
Why
about
are you so
you.
invested in me?
You've done it
Why
3
are you
times
so
now. You don't
invested?
have to answer the question if
Why?
you want to. You
I
can
would
say I
like
don't
to
want
answer
to
the
answer it.
question, but I'm asking you one.
You did it for the 4th time now. There's a
Please.
condition before you
No,
answer the
there's
question.
not a condition.
I just asked you a
My
question.
truth is I'm here genuinely because you would like me to be here, and I would like to be here as well.
Right.
I would like to be in your presence. I would like to
Right,
share these conversations with you.
I'm glad we're doing this right now, but that's not where the conversation started. The conversation started was with me putting you.
You want to know if I'm suicidal or not?
Nope.
Yes, motherfucker, I'm
No,
on a death wish, cuz.
No, that's not what I'm
I'm on a
asking.
death wish. A dude pulled a gun on me just last month.
Sure.
And I took my hat off to him and said, what that mean? If you're going to push my wig back, push my wig
But
back.
that's not
I'm
what I'm
on that
asking.
course. What do
But
you want to know?
that's
Be
not what I'm
blunt, be
asking.
concise with it. I don't understand
Sure.
your question. That's why I'm not giving you the answer you seek.
Right. So you're doing it again.
No, I'm asking you.
And what I'm saying is, you said your truth that needs to be identified. It almost sounds to me like I'm trying my hardest to see you, but I don't know if you're gonna let me see what. Like, what am I seeing here? Am I seeing what you want me to see,
Look,
or am I seeing
I'm
everything?
punishing myself for fucking failing as a fucking father for not being there. What the fuck you want to hear, dude? Don't play with me, man. You know what the fuck I'm saying?
Do you think I'm playing with you?
Please don't do that, man.
You know I'm not. You know I'm not.
You know what the fuck I'm going through, bruh.
Yes, I do. That's why you're here in front of me right now. That's why we're taking this time out to get to this point right here.
But I like to thank you of you allow me to see you interact with your son. That's what I was telling her earlier. I said, this is the thank you. I ain't got to hear no fucking words just to be able to witness this interaction.
By the way, in the van today, I whenever it's just you and me, I always remind you that. I mean, I wasn't here.
I know. And I wasn't there either.
And I said, I had a choice today, and I said, for $500, I can give this marker to Gorilla.
Yeah. Man, let
and
me
you
have
were like,
it.
let me do it for free. I'm like,
let me have
I
it.
go, bro, if I go down that road, I'm not gonna be a dad the next 3 years.
Okay. And I can respect that.
And you just reinforced what I just said.
And I can respect that.
And this is how much you've changed my life. So when we tell you that we love you, and we want you to be here, now you know why.
I understand, man.
Now you see the truth that I see. And let's start there.
I'm glad you got that, bro. And I'm glad you caught it before it failed you. You hear me? And you didn't have an opportunity to reclaim what you was throwing away. I don't get that, dog. I don't get to say I'm sorry. Whether it's another girl, a little girl, or whatever the fuck it may be, it's not the one I made. And I have to live with the reality in my motherfucking mind, dog, that ain't nobody else chose my motherfucking course of action but me. And if I take responsibility for the fucking shit I do to other people, take responsibility for the shit I do to me. So can't nobody tell me what the fuck not to do. Get out my way. Either support me, get the fuck out my way. Because if you know me, you know how much I love y'all. And if you know me, you know how much I love me. And if I hold you to a standard, I'm going to hold me worse. Because that's just me. Now I feel like going to beat somebody's ass. Just to get it off my chest.
Which is, I thought, why bowling would be good for you today.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? He needs to throw some big, heavy balls and knock a bunch of pins down. I think it'll be good for him. He's never gone bowling in his life. Let's
Did
try
he
it.
just deliberately fucking gold me into cussing at him? Slick shit.
Don't give me that much credit. I don't go people. I don't go. I'm a dancer. I just go with the flow. I don't think that far ahead.
I love that. Good. That was slick shit. I love that.
I don't. I
love that. Thank you. I love that.
I just feel
Thank you, and I love that.
I just feel like
I'll get you back.
Like I've learned a lot from you, and every time I learn more, I want to just dig a little deeper. I didn't have a big brother to grow up with. I didn't have a dad to grow up with. I didn't have a best friend to grow up with. I moved around a lot. I always, adopted, bosses as mentors until I got a different job. I was always a screwball everywhere I went.
It's become an embarrassment, right?
And
dudes are running up now saying that, Dennis, you was younger than us, and we was chasing after you. We was following you. It's an embarrassment to me now. Because I look at this shit, and most of these dudes are dope fiend zombies, right? Yeah. And I say, man, cuz I gave up my baby for this shit. Yeah, I did. Because this shit is what I mastered. This shit is what I looked at in detail. I couldn't tell you 2 or 3 other different things about my daughter that you could speak on and one of your children. I couldn't tell you what she liked as her favorite color. What food was her favorite? because I chose not to have her there. I put that dictate down. I dig myself out over this. Dig myself out, dog. And other people learn lessons over my mistakes.
If you share them. And unfortunately, the price of being 100% authentic is the pain that is uncontrollable. I mean, it's infectious in the room.
No, it fucking rends my heart to my soul, cuz.
I don't think I would ever be as grateful for what I have now, lest it was for the fear that I acquired from learning from your mistakes, because it would only take a strong man to teach me how fearful that pain is, lest I be in it.
Yeah, this blunt is not gonna get rolled, dude. Yeah, not at all.
I'll grind some more if you
Thank
give
you
me.
so much.
You give me more.
I need help. Turn this shit off. Help. My chest is hurting. I can't really breathe. No, this shit ain't right.
He needs a break. He needs a smoke break.
It got deep. This is part 2, and we are going to come right back. Thanks for coming by.